Good morning, everyone. I'm very excited to be here. I'm Carlos Camargo. I am a product lead for the EMEA region, and I work with the AI Solutions product suite. And I'm here with
Katrina. Hi, everyone. I also work as an EMEA product lead. Super excited to be here today. And super excited to have this talk today. So both Carlos and me have over a decade of experience within the digital marketing industry, and we have seen many transformations within the digital marketing industry, from desktop-only advertising campaigns to including mobile, from manual bidding to including automatic bidding, and now we are in a completely new chapter as well, with all the innovations that are happening within AI. But before I dive into that, I would like to ask you a question. Is your current search strategy built to react mainly to keywords? Maybe raise of hands if this is the case. Some, yeah. So we see that this is actually still happening because we are basically in this transformation at the moment. But today we wanted to actually let you know why we don't recommend this anymore and why it is so important to rely on keywordless technology. Because we see that consumer behavior is predictably unpredictable. The way that people are searching is becoming more complex, and also consumers are constantly changing between different channels. So consumers are really forcing us to rethink the entire purchase journey. And of course, AI is accelerating these changes in consumer behavior, but it's also what allows us to keep pace. The game is to be where your customers are in real time in order to get the best possible returns. And this is really where AI can play a role. Now you can literally search anything. So we used to carefully select the keywords that we typed into in search, but now we can search in a more natural manner. We can use our voice, we can use our camera, and we can even go back and forth in search and ask follow-up questions to really dig deeper. And we can really search anything in any scenario that we are in. So let me give you an example. I really wanted to buy a lamp for my guest bedroom, and I couldn't really find the one that I liked. And then recently I went for dinner, and I really loved the atmosphere. And I realized that the atmosphere was created by these beautiful lamps, so I wanted to know what type of lamp this was. So I took out my phone, took a picture, used Google Lens, and then realized what kind of lamp this was. So before the starters, I knew the model of this lamp, the brand of this lamp, and I had a link to actually purchase it. And now this lamp is in my guest bedroom. So this is how fast consumers go from inspiration to intent. So show of hands, who is using Google Lens? Yeah, the majority of you. And you're not the only one, because this is our fastest growing query type over the course of this year. And this 70% growth translates to 25 billion monthly visual searches. And the most interesting part about this is that the extent of commercial intent behind these visual searches. We see that 1 in 5 has a commercial intent. So this is a great way for you as a brand to interact with potential consumers. That's why you really have to think about making sure you have high quality images on your website. You have a strong shopping feed available in order to ensure that you show up when people are searching with Google Lens. But we are not only searching via Google Lens, we also can search via circle to search when we see a product online that we really like and we want to know what it is. And we see that especially the young generation are utilizing circle to search with around 10% of the total searches that they're doing. So again, this is really increasing fast. And we really see that this is the reason that we are investing in these new types of search behavior, because this is what our consumers demand.
Okay, Kat. So that's not the only thing that is actually changing in the way that people are searching right now. If I had this trip, let's say 5 years ago, and I was coming for the first time to Amsterdam, I would have done a query like this: things to do in Amsterdam, right? It's very command-like, it's very specific, it's not very natural. What we are realizing now is that the people are doing that exactly. They are searching more natural, like if they were talking to a friend or to an expert. They will do something more like this, right? It's a longer query, more complex query, it has constraints, it has intent, and it's really showing us what they really want. And this is very, very important because for shopping, it gives us a lot of information, and search is a discovery powerhouse for shoppers. We have seen that over 60% of all shopping and apparel searches show broad intent. This means that the user is exploring different products and different brands. For example, this will be a search that I will do if I want to buy like a work-appropriate jacket. So it will be something like this. It will tell you what I want, what I don't want, what I want to do, right? And you will maybe guess which generation is searching like this the most. I will give you a hint. It's the newest buyers that we have in this generation. Any guess? You might be thinking about it. Gen Z, of course. Those are the new people that are searching. And believe it or not, Gen Z, as Kat mentioned, are the ones that are a heavy Google users because they are directing or doing more searches at any moment on the day than any other age group, which is really, really impressive. And in fact, we have seen that over 80% of Gen Z users are using Google for shopping, which some of you might not expect, but yes, they are doing it. Now, one question that I've been getting a lot lately is, Carlos, what's the impact of generative AI on search? It's a big question, right? It's top of mind right now for most of us if we are working in advertising. And the answer is quite simple, to be honest. It's massive. The impact is going to be massive because search is bringing generative AI to more people than any other product in the world. And it starts with AI overviews. Probably you have seen it already. This is where you ask a question, as I mentioned, like very normal, fluent, like if you were talking to an expert, and you will get a snippet or a full answer generated by AI. And right now, AI Overviews has over 2 billion users in over 200 countries and territories. This is a lot of reach. And we have seen that when people see the AI answers, they have access to more links, which means they have access to more content, which means to you that you have more opportunities to show your content to this audience. And we don't stop there. Now, probably you have heard about AI mode. AI mode is basically the evolution of search, when you can go and do the queries again, more conversationally, but it's not only one query. You can follow up, you can refine your answer, your question, and Google will give you an answer that is multimodal. That's basically meaning you have images, videos, and different other resources, right? So it's like a better experience for the user. And this has been increasing the usage significantly because in the US and India, we have been having over 100 million users per month. And I don't know if you noticed, but early in this month, we launched AI mode in over 35 new languages and in over 40 new countries. And you might have seen it already in your Google in the Netherlands. So yes, most of the countries in EMEA are also part of this. But Kat, can you tell us about the vision that we have for AI overviews and AI mode?
Absolutely. So the vision is to have ads within AI overviews and AI mode, to really have that opportunity to connect with consumers within these platforms. This is already available within the US and very successful. So that's why we are planning to also bring it on a global level. And of course, that includes here within the Netherlands. And this will really give you new opportunities because this means that there will be new advertising slots to connect with consumers. And we also see that you have the opportunity to get higher quality clicks because we have seen that users who click on a link within either AI overviews or AI mode tend to stay longer on the website that they go to. So these are more high intent, high value clicks. So great opportunity for businesses. What we also see is when it's easier to get answers, people tend to ask more questions. And this is the reason why we see that despite the fact that we have over 5 trillion searches annually, so these are 12 zeros, we still see significant growth on Google search. And like Carlos already said, Gen Z are heavy shopping users, but Gen Z are also the most heavy users of Google search and issue more queries each day than any other age group. So search is huge, search is growing, and it's staying young as well. So we're really moving from matching keywords to predicting the intent behind a query as well. So let me give you an example of how this can look like within AI overviews. So someone is searching for how to bring a small dog on a flight. The AI overview won't only give an answer to this question, it will also think about what could be the potential commercial need that this consumer might have. And then it can show something like this: carriers for small dogs. So again, the great opportunity for you as a business to connect with potential consumers, to queries that probably in the past you would never match to. And now we can actually make that match between those more generic queries to the right business. And then AI mode is also changing the game for shopping. Because if someone is, for example, searching for a new rock, it can give a really nice visual representation of all the rocks that are being sold. But if they want to refine their search, so let's say the consumer says, I have a family, I have 3 kids, and I also have a dog. The system will then do multiple queries in the background to figure out what type of rock would be suitable for a family with multiple kids and a dog. And it will then think about, okay, they probably want to have a stain-resistant rock that is also easily washable. And then it will show those rocks to that consumer, so that there's a perfect connection between what the consumer needs and the rocks being displayed. So this way we make, we make it more useful for our users on Google search, but it's also, again, a great opportunity to connect to those consumers. But again, then you want to make sure that you have high quality images on your website, you have a strong shopping feed where you put in that additional information. What are the benefits of the product that you are selling? Because if you don't write on your website that these rocks are stain resistant and that these are washable, the AI cannot take that information to make that connection. So that's why SEO and shopping feed optimization is becoming even more important than ever before. And Carlos will also dive deeper into that. Again, if you also want to show up within these overviews, you cannot rely on your keyword list anymore, because the ways that people are searching is significantly changing. So you need to rely on keywordless technology. And that is really where our newest innovation within Google Search, AI Max, comes into play. And again, Carlos will go a little bit deeper into what this is and the benefits of it. Then we also see that shopping experiences are becoming more agentic. So this is already a feature that is available within the US, but again, we're planning to also bring this to Europe at a later stage, because we're seeing a lot of success within the US with this. So what is this? Is, let's imagine that I want to buy a black bag. I see this black bag, I absolutely love it, but it's over $100. So to me, this price point is too expensive. But I am willing to buy this bag as soon as it drops under $100. I can then basically let the system know to give me a signal as soon as this happens, and then the system can actually automatically buy the product for me in the right color and size that I had selected on the website. So this is a really great way to really close that e-commerce sale, and a really more advanced way of doing a remarketing strategy. So we used to just, remarket all the people who put something in the basket. So this becomes even more interesting to really close that e-commerce sale with the use of Google.
Now, if you are seeing all of this and you're asking yourself, how do I make my brand present here? Well, you're seeing the slide. The answer is, from one part, your SEO strategy. This is becoming increasingly important, because this is one of the main sources that the algorithm will have to understand what you are selling. And as Kat mentioned it, match it to the intent of the consumer, of what that person is looking for. So what will be the 3 things that you could do to make your SEO strategy a bit more solid and respond to this new era? But before I tell you that, I want you to point out one thing, and it's like the Google objectives continues to be the same, and that is to help people find outstanding original content that adds unique value. That remains our core objective for everything we do. Now, the one thing that you can do is focus on unique, valuable content for people, then ensure Google can access that content, and lastly, understand the full value of your visits. So if you want to get more details on this, we will share a link to the blog post after this session is finished on Monday, probably, so you can dive deeper here. But let's switch gears a little bit, and there we go. And start talking more about your paid strategy and how you can win Q5 with your paid strategy. And it really starts with understanding the customer. So if we see the behavior of the customer over Q4, like the holiday season, we see that more than half of the shoppers are purchasing at any given moment. This is clearly a show of intent. But more than that, based on our internal data, we are seeing that during the months of December and January, demand continues to increase while CPCs decreases. So basically, this means that your budget will give you more results. So it's the time to do it now. But how do you do it? Basically, you need to do it by being present along the consumer journey, right? Let's start from the top. So if you go in the discovery stage, you will see that Google and YouTube is present in 2 out of 3 journeys where the consumer say that they discover something. This is really important. This is where you need to plant the seed in the consumer, because this is where the consumers are finding new gifts ideas or searching this new trend that is emerging in the market. Now, if we go with research, 71% of the holiday shoppers consider Google one of the top 3 most essential tools. So this is extremely, extremely important again. Why? Because this is where consumers are comparing prices, reading product reviews, or watching product videos. And now if we go down a level, you can see that we have the decision stage. And you can read it there. Holiday shoppers using Google or YouTube make double the number of purchases. And I think that's a pretty valuable audience to be impacted, right? That we need to capture. And how do we capture it? With the Power Pack. These are our 3 main solutions that you can have presence throughout the funnel. So we have AI Max for search, Performance Max, and Demand Gen. AI Max for search is basically bringing search into this new AI era. This is really important for you to supercharge your search strategy. Then we have Performance Max. This will be the perfect complement to that performance strategy. And if you add Demand Gen on top of that, you are covering the full funnel. So you will have great improvements in performance. But I would like to dig deeper in AI Max. So AI Max is specifically constant of 3 main features. The first one is search term matching, which is basically expanding your reach. You will be able to be in front of more users. Then we have automatically created assets. This is basically when generative AI will take a look at your landing page, so they will know what you are selling. It will take a look at your assets, and it will create new assets to be extremely relevant to what the consumer is searching for. So it will make a mix of your current assets and newly created assets. And lastly, we have full final URL expansion. This is where the algorithm will see again your landing page and will identify what landing page is the most useful and has the highest potential of conversion to send that traffic to your website. So you have a full funnel of directing traffic to your website. Now, let's see an example. In this query, electric SUVs for large families, let's say that Volvo didn't have that query in their search structure. Now you see how AI Max is creating a new ad in real time, extremely relevant to that consumer query. And how it knows that, because we have said a few times, is not only watching the words that we have, it's watching the intent, and it's able to match it and make it extremely, extremely relevant. But that's what your consumer will see. What you will see is something else. You will see a lot of reporting, a lot of transparent reporting, so you will be able to know which headlines and landing pages AI Max decided to choose to send the traffic to, and you will be able to have a lot of control as well. But we have also seen that campaigns that use AI Max have seen increases in performance of up to 20% more conversions at a similar effectiveness, so similar CPA, let's say, or it has seen 27% more conversion value at similar ROAS. That's really, really good performance. So, lastly, we would like to give you 3 tips. First, be ready for the AI search experience by creating unique, relevant, and credible content. So if you want to sell a new lamp to cat, you are going to be the advertiser that will do it. You have to be present throughout the season. So the season doesn't stop in Cyber Monday. The user continues to have interest after Cyber Monday. So be there, be present. And how to capture that? Take action with AI Max. It's the best suited product solution to capture that intent and this change in the consumer behavior. I think that's all of our time. So thank you very much for your attention.
All right. Thank you so much for kicking off this day. Valuable insights. I always start with looking at the audience. If there are some curious minds here that may have a question. Okay, Gerald, you can start with one.
Yes, so if I search something for my kid in AI search, and like a day later I will find plane tickets to go somewhere else, will the AI remember that I have a kid, or will I always need to prompt like who I am?
So the question, will AI remember what you prompted the day before?
Preferences maybe.
Yeah, your preference stating you have a kid, but the next day you're doing a completely different prompt. So what is your...
So we basically look at to really determine who you are, we look on search specifically, we look at the last 30 minutes of search history. So if you have been searching for things for your kids on the day, and then you do a more generic query, we might still understand, okay, you have a kid, so this might be a relevant solution. So we really look at the last 30 minutes. On a larger scale, so outside of search, within Performance Max, etc., we do build a profile of who you are, and we can make the right connection between you and those ads. So there's a difference between what's happening within Google Search and the history there, and like what is happening within solutions like Performance Max and Demand Gen, YouTube, etc., where we have more of a profile of who you are as a person and make sure that we show the most relevant ads. I don't know if you want to add something.
I will just add that we don't specifically know it's you. We know you are user X1, 2, 3, 4, whatever. It's not like you specifically, because we do keep privacy at the center of all of our solutions, but we do tend to build some signals of what you are, basically demographics, psychographic and stuff.
Yeah. Okay, great. Gerald, do you want to... Okay.
The last question was like with the LLM model, like will there be a possibility to see as an advertiser where you show up in the LLM search? So maybe somebody searched for a video production company like us in Amsterdam. Would it be possible for us in what position we would rank to know that?
So knowing what position you would rank as a company if you get this insights beforehand, you mean?
Yeah. Do you know? Because you're going to be optimizing for LLM search to rank higher, but is there a possibility to see where you are, like if you're in place 48 or you're 5?
So I don't think you will be able to see specific the position that you will be ranking, but there are a few tools in our developer blog that you will be able to set up so you can identify the traffic that is coming from Gemini or AI overviews or AI mode, so you have like a better understanding on where the traffic is coming from. But I'm pretty sure that we are constantly evolving and developing the solution, so you will have more insights and you can optimize your results.
Yeah, because within Google Ads, the number one request that we're getting is to get that split between, okay, were my ads shown in AI mode, AI overviews, or Google Search in general. So even though we don't have this right now, it's the number one request. So the more we get the same request, the more likely something will be built into the tool as well.
Great. I did see some hands in the back. Yeah?
How about if you're a company and you're selling adult toys? Will there be any filters on it? Or
did anybody get the question? You can all hear it? Or yeah. Whether there's a filter on selling specific products, in this case, erotic adult toys.
So I will say that Google's advertising policy continue to apply, so whatever is allowed by the policy it will be allowed in the new ad slots that we will have.
Okay, I did see another hand, yeah?
What would be the implication for DSA campaign? So the difference between AMX and DSA?
That's a great question. Yeah, we actually get that a lot because DSA, of course, is also a keywordless technology. So while DSA really looks at across like the landing pages of the website to make that connection between the website and the potential consumer, AMX takes it a step further. So it looks also at the landing pages, but then it also looks at the existing creatives that you have in the account as well, and the keywords that are in the account, and combine all of that information to determine the intent behind the query and whether there's a good match. So it's like an upgraded version of DSA. Right now, we do recommend to continue utilizing DSA and just activate AMX on your regular search campaigns where you have keywords still, and then in the future we might like change this and upgrade DSA further to AMX. Yeah, and so it's an upgraded version, improved version of DSA basically. Great question.
Thanks again, both. I know maybe there are some more questions, but luckily we have a coffee break, lunch break, network drinks. You know where to find you guys. Thanks again. I would ask you to
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
give the stage. Yeah.